A gunman opened fire on a Florida high school, killing 17 people. We'll hear from witnesses at the scene.
Plus, Grad Fest for USC seniors started on campus today, but there's not much celebration to be had once you see the prices of graduation gear.
We'll go live to our reporter at the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang and meet some athletes competing in sports that are unfamiliar in their homeland.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
It's just different when it hits home, you know? You read about it, you see it when it happens in other places, but when it's your backyard, when it's your child that's hiding, it's just a little different, you know? It's a very sad day.
Some parents were lucky and had an emotional reunion with their kids after a deadly school shooting in South Florida. 17 people, including several students, were killed. Good evening, I'm Taylor Etchell.
And I'm Leslie Ambriz. The Broward County Sheriff says the suspect had at least one assault rifle and countless rounds of ammunition and is now in custody. Students and adults are among the 17 confirmed deaths at a high school in Parkland, Florida. 16 are injured and being treated at a local hospital. SWAT team members swarmed the scene and locked down the school as emergency workers arrived to treat the wounded. Most of the victims were shot and killed inside the school. 3 died outside the high school. 2 more died at a nearby hospital. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School is located in Parkland, Florida. That's in the southern part of the state, south of Boca Raton and north of Miami. The 19-year-old suspect is identified as Nicholas Cruz. He was previously expelled from his school for disciplinary reasons. Authorities say he used an AR-15 rifle and had many magazines. He was treated briefly at a hospital, but his injuries are not serious.
Honestly, a lot of people were saying that it was going to be him, stuff like that. We threw a lot of kids threw jokes around like that, saying that he was going to be the one to screw up the school. But it turns out, you know, everyone predicted it. That's crazy. He was on the 3rd floor. He knows the school layout. He knows where everyone would be at as of right now. He's been in his fire drills. He's prepared for this stuff.
The Broward County Sheriff shared information about the suspect in custody.
He's 19 years old. He was born in 1998 in September. He was a former student of Douglas High School. He got expelled for disciplinary reasons. I don't know the specifics.
Investigators are trying to determine a possible motive for this deadly shooting.
And they'll be looking into the suspect's social media activity and computer history as part of their investigation. Students at the high school shared video and photos of the aftermath of the shooting. Students shared this video as they waited outside the school after being evacuated. One student tweeted at President Trump, quote, "Please do something. My friends and I are absolutely traumatized." Another tweeted, quote, "I'm so thankful to be alive right now." Social media expert Matthew Levesque says there are almost 500,000 social media posts about the shooting already.
Our software is able to, through its machine learning algorithm, obtain emotional context on it. And of those tweets about the shooting that have been posted today, approximately 50% have an emotion associated with them, and the overwhelming emotion is sadness.
LAUSD Board President Monica Garcia and Interim Superintendent Vivian Etchen released a statement on the shooting. They said, quote, "We are deeply saddened by today's tragic shooting. The heartbreaking images of children fleeing from gunfire in our schools is becoming an all too familiar sight. Having recently been through a school shooting in LA Unified, we understand the anxiety of uncertainty and the horror of the violence affecting our children, families, and school communities." Here at USC, students are gathering right now at the United University Church for a vigil for the victims of this Florida shooting. Organizers say all members of the community are welcome.
Students from a dozen universities signed a letter today calling for more transparency about college admissions policies, especially surrounding legacy students.
So essentially what that letter asks is administrators to put together a task force group to examine legacy admissions policies, whether or not certain students are advantaged over others, and essentially making it transparent.
We reached out to the colleges mentioned in the letter and to the USC admissions department. We have not yet received a response.
Buying or borrowing a basic black cap and gown will no longer be an option for this year's graduating class at USC. Students will be required to wear a new custom design, and it ain't cheap. The basic cap and gown rental will be $70. However, graduation packages, which include additional items like diploma frames and personalized announcements, range from about $170 to almost $450.
It was a little bit pricey. I didn't expect that much for a rental.
It's ridiculous. I think it's just one day. It's kind of like a wedding dress or a prom dress where you're spending all this money for one thing and it's not even a full day.
I'm definitely not going to be going with one of the packages and just getting one of the gowns.
This change may put one student group out of business. Last year, Clever Grads provided a cheaper alternative to USC's expensive graduation attire.
We just realized that we could order bulk all of the things that USC was selling. So last year it was gowns and sashes and leis. So we bought it in bulk and then sold it to students much closer to at cost. And we think it's really unfair that they made the design so that students really don't have options to get something for cheaper because now with the new design there's really no other way to get it than directly from the bookstore.
We spoke with USC's academic events coordinator. She said the new design was developed because the company that typically supplies the school's graduation regalia said USC is the only university at its level that does not have a custom gown.
Happy Days actor Scott Baio is being accused of sexual assault and harassment by two of his former Charles and In Charge co-stars.
But Alex was consistently picked on, tripped, pushed around, berated with horrendous homosexual slurs, all because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Both Nicole Eggert and Alexander Polinsky say they were underage when taken advantage of by Baio on set of the weekly sitcom. Baio denounced the claims on Facebook Live, and his attorney spoke out today in his defense.
I think that it was difficult to interpret what Mr. Polinsky was saying this morning in the press conference with his attorney, but certainly it contradicts earlier statements that he's made with regard to not having been ever physically assaulted in any way.
Both accusers say they have witnesses to back up their claims and plan to reveal them in the near future. The allegations are currently under investigation by the LAPD. The White House is under investigation by the House Oversight Committee for its conduct concerning former Staff Secretary Rob Porter. He resigned after reports surfaced of alleged domestic abuse. Committee Chairman Trey Gowdy spoke about the investigation.
I have real questions about how someone like this could be considered for employment, whether there's a security clearance or not. So, yeah, I'm troubled by almost every aspect of this.
White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders insisted that officials only knew about the allegations when they were reported and were still waiting for security clearance. But this was contradicted by FBI testimony. President Trump spoke out today about the controversy.
I am totally opposed to domestic violence of any kind. Everyone knows that, and it almost wouldn't even have to be said. So now you hear it, but you all know it.
Last week, Trump tweeted, quote, "Lives are being shattered and destroyed by a mere allegation."
A new study released by a Southern California think tank says the video game industry is becoming more competitive and the state of California is facing increased competition. According to the Milken Institute, California has around 900 video game companies. The study recommends adapting California's sales tax and include video game companies in California tax exemptions to keep the industry strong.
It may have rained today, but this winter has been one of the driest in years. Our weather anchor will have more.
Plus, we go live to the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang to get details on athletes participating in unexpected events.
Recently, our country has witnessed catastrophic devastation. Hurricanes and flooding have upended lives and livelihoods.
Across this great country, Americans have answered the call.
That special calling that compels us, when others are down, to step up and do whatever it takes.
America's at her best when, against all odds, we come together and lift each other up.
Please donate to oneamericaappeal.org. America needs you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. no one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listened.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Welcome back. For the first time since 1945, Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day fall on the same day. Ash Wednesday is a Christian holiday which starts the beginning of Lent season. At Caruso Catholic Center, many are recognizing the annual tradition. The season is a time of repentance and self-reflection. Lent is about 6 weeks before Easter. A USC pastor recommends spending time helping others.
Rather than taking away something, focus on other people and add love and add into your life on Ash Wednesday. Because we definitely do not want to tell people to give up love and romance on a on a Valentine's Day.
Many people celebrating this day can be seen wearing a cross made of ash on their foreheads for Christians. The dust symbolizes the material God made them from. It's also a sign of repentance for sin. And in downtown LA, people are celebrating a different kind of holiday, Valentine's Day. Annenberg Media's Sonica Bargo is live in Grand Park, where the Lovers Rock concert is just getting started. Sonica?
Go ahead. Thanks, Leslie. That's right, we're here at Grand Park where a reggae-inspired romantic Valentine's Day concert is just getting started. People are slowly starting to trickle in. They're sitting down at the tables. If you listen closely, you might be able to hear some of that reggae music. And the park is decked out for Valentine's Day. All of the tables and chairs are pink. If you look over my shoulder, you can see some of that pink lighting. There are pink streamers, and the trees are also decorated as well. This event is free, which means anyone can come by and enjoy Valentine's Day here if you're not having a romantic evening at home with your significant other. There are also some delicious looking food trucks out here selling everything from pies to cookies to ice cream. Personally, it's a little chilly for ice cream in my opinion, but I might snag a cookie on the way back home because they smell great and they look delicious. So if you have nothing else to do on Valentine's Day, come out here and enjoy a free and beautiful concert out here in Grand Park. Back to you guys.
Thanks so much, Sonica, for that report. Well, Leslie, sounds like there's some music and love in the air.
Seriously, but will there be any rain to ruin Valentine's dates tonight? Let's ask our weather anchor, Trevor.
Well, guys, I have good news for all those lovebirds out there tonight. Weather won't be an issue. But first, let's take a look at our current conditions. Outside, it's 63 degrees, and so, like Sonica said, it is a little bit chilly, so you're going to need those coats, and ice cream probably isn't the option. But still, 50% humidity, so fair conditions and a good time to get out if you're going to have those nice dates outside. But as we move into the LA area, let's take a look at the mountains. 40 degrees outside, and now the snow is still there. Well, it has been heating up a little bit recently. You can find snow out there, so I know if I get a chance, I'm going to head like Shaun White, just like yesterday. Love that gold medal. But in the Inland Empire, 71 degrees in Riverside. As we move up the coast, Simi Valley, 68 degrees, 64 degrees along the coast in Malibu. But back in the LA Basin, it's 69 degrees at USC, 70 in Pasadena, 73 in Anaheim. So again, low 70s, upper 60s throughout the temperatures tomorrow. Now, if we take a look at our 5-day forecast, 70 degrees on Thursday, 74 on Friday, 79 on Saturday. But then it's going to start cooling down on Sunday and Monday, getting into the low 70s, upper 60s throughout the rest of next week. Now, while there is no rain in the forecast to dampen spirits today, it doesn't look like any will be coming for a while. Although the rain is making its way up the coast, LA isn't getting much. Here at USC, we saw some very light showers Tuesday morning. The LA region got about 1/10 of an inch so far this week, less than half of what was expected. The rest of the state isn't doing much better. Northern California is reporting the warmest start to the year on record. I talked with National Weather Service meteorologist about what this means.
California is again
in drought conditions, and significant drought conditions. And the U.S. Drought Monitor takes into account the groundwater supply, which is...
The rain won't help with the Santa Ana winds expected to return later this week, drying the region back out again and increasing fire danger. But the weather here is nothing compared to the Olympics. Isn't that right, Taylor?
I know, Trevor. Weather has been a part of the conversation for the Winter Olympics, and some are surprised at warm weather countries in Africa being represented in Korea. Annenberg Media's Olivia Sandusky has the story from Pyeongchang.
Since 1924, countries all over the world have competed in the Winter Olympics. While the Games are open to everyone, African countries did not compete until 1960 when South Africa made its debut. Despite issues like a lack of snowy climate and low program funding, the number of African countries participating continues to increase almost every Olympics. Adam Lamhamadi is one of 2 athletes representing Morocco at the 2018 Games.
It's strange because people are not expecting an African country to be represented at the Winter Olympics. So for me it's an honor and it's a challenge too.
One way more athletes have been able to achieve their Olympic dreams is by collecting donations through GoFundMe accounts. Winter Olympians on average need about $15,000 for gear and training. Teams like the Nigerian women's bobsled team raised $75,000 and are the first team from their country to compete in the Winter Games.
It's amazing to see the welcome that this planning committee puts together just so that the athletes and the whole entire organization can feel special. We're really, really, truly blessed.
Here at the 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea, African countries will be represented more than ever before, with 13 athletes competing for 8 different countries. Akwasi Frimpong is the only athlete to represent Ghana this year.
I hope that skeleton becomes #1 sport in Ghana because it's an amazing sport. But I think people are inspired and people are daring to dream, and it's important that kids need to dare to dream, to know that it is possible. A lot of time, people fall back because of different reasons. But here I am after 15 years working hard towards this goal, and my goal is just that a lot of kids will be inspired in Ghana to pick up winter sport. It's a beautiful sport.
Like Frimpong, many of the athletes are hoping to inspire more people from their country to compete in the Games and increase African participation at Beijing in 2022. For Annenberg Media, I'm Olivia Sandusky.
Now let's welcome in Olivia live from Pyeongchang. Hi, Olivia.
Hi, guys.
Olivia, what would you say are the most popular winter sports among African athletes?
A lot of the African athletes out here are competing in the events like skeleton, luge, and bobsled.
Olivia?
Yes?
Hi, sorry. How exactly did these athletes get involved with these cold weather sports?
A lot of these athletes have strong backgrounds in track, and those talents of the strong legs, quick strides really translate over to bobsled and skeleton, where they need to be able to push the sled down the track.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Olivia, for taking the time to chat with us.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that's sports in South Korea, but what's happening here at USC?
Funny you ask. Actually, the men's volleyball team heads to Westwood tonight to face off against crosstown rival UCLA. For all of you disappointed Dodgers fans, time to cheer up because Trojan baseball is back. And when we return, we will dig into Pac-12 men's basketball and check out just how close the Trojans are to making it to March Madness.
You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. Why would you do that?
Probably okay isn't okay. Call a cab, a car, or a friend.
Good choice.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back. I'm joined by sports correspondent Victoria Garrick to break down the men's basketball Pac-12 standings. So Victoria, the Trojans are only 2 games behind Pac-12 leader Arizona and tied for second with UCLA. How much of a changeup can we expect to see in those Pac-12 standings?
Well, Lauren, as we know in sports, anything can happen. But if we really dissect this leaderboard, there is a way USC can challenge the Wildcats and, if not at the least, surpass UCLA. The Trojans have already beaten all 5 of their remaining opponents this season except the Bruins. On the other hand, the Bruins have to face the same opponents as the Trojans, but they've already lost to both of the Oregons. For USC, it's going to come down to showing up and executing well against teams they know they can already beat. And then, of course, getting that revenge when they face the Bruins to close out conference play in the Galen Center.
Definitely. And it might be a little bit early to start talking about this. I don't want to jinx anything. But what is the lineup looking like for March Madness?
Well, the NCAA Selection Committee just released their top 16 seeds. USC not making the list, but still predicted to be in that tournament based on their solid RPI along with these 7 other Pac-12 teams.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what an RPI is and tell me about what goes into that?
Well, the rating percentage index is a way of ranking teams based on their opponents' wins and losses. It's the biggest determinant for the NCAA tournament, and the higher a team's RPI, the better. So, for example, since USC beat Colorado and Colorado beat ranked opponent Arizona, USC's RPI actually increases because they beat a team who beat a ranked opponent. As long as they can keep their RPI in that top 64, they'll look good to the committee, and USC currently sits at 48.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Victoria, for all of that USC basketball insight. Be sure to come out to the Galen Center for their next Pac-12 matchup against Oregon tomorrow at 6. Now, basketball season may be winding down, but USC baseball is just getting started with their home opener this Friday. We caught up with returning junior outfielder on the USC baseball team, Lars Newbar, to hear more about the expectations for this team.
You know, we're a young team, but at the same time, we have a lot of guys returning that played last year, whether they're freshmen or sophomores like myself. So we're coming in and we're expecting to have a big year, and then hopefully the freshmen can come along and just kind of step into their roles, and we can keep going from there.
The Trojans actually had the 17th best recruiting class in the nation, so they hope to put their mix of youth and skill to work right away when they take on Utah Valley on Friday under the lights. Rivalry alert, men's volleyball battles against crosstown rival UCLA tonight at 7 p.m. in Pauley Pavilion. The number 15 ranked Trojans are 4-8 overall and now 1-1 in the MPSF after the action this past weekend. The Trojans are led by MPSF kills leader Jack WYETT. WYETT is a redshirt junior who has quite a fascinating story here at SC. WYETT was a backup player during his freshman season back in 2015. He then decided to take a 2-year absence from the team. But he's returned with a fire and is now a starter, MPSF leader, co-captain, and difference maker for this volleyball squad. He'll lead the Trojans as they hit the road again to play number 2, UCLA tonight, and then number 12, Pepperdine, on Sunday. Women's lacrosse season is upon us. Ranked 8th in the nation, the women of Troy are looking forward to playing their first season under the banner of the Pac-12 Conference.
I think now that we are the Pac-12 and we really have that name behind us, the rest of the country is going to just continue to take us more seriously, and I'm looking forward to our league competition as the spring goes on.
These women of Troy are not to be underestimated. The team is riding 18 consecutive conference game wins as well as the title of MPSF champion for the 2016 and 2017 seasons. With this impressive resume, they've been picked as favorites to come in first in the Pac-12. The team is set to add another win to their record as they face off against Stony Brook on Friday. And in the spirit of Valentine's Day, we found some famous Trojan football alumni who took to Twitter to spread some love. Former USC cornerback turned Tennessee Titan tweeted this photo, saying, "If you need a Valentine for tomorrow, I got your back. Hit them DMs today." Fellow Trojan great Juju Smith-Schuster went a different route with this tweet. "Me and Bay, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Hope y'all have a good night." This was accompanied by a picture of a current popular video game, Fortnite. Have any of you guys played Fortnite?
I definitely have not. Have you?
Yes, it's actually really fun. I might be doing that tonight instead of going on a Valentine's Day too.
Oh, pretty girl like you, no way, Lauren.
Definitely.
While Valentine's Day is a special day for some, celebrating Galentine's Day is instead a popular new trend.
Find out more after the break.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
There's still time to cast your vote in the USC undergraduate student government election. Voting runs through Friday. Students can cast their vote online or on Truesdale. This election will decide the USG president, vice president, and Senate. The undergraduate student government is the official governing body of the nearly 19,000 undergraduates at USC. More information about each candidate can be found on the USG website. And this year, instead of celebrating Valentine's Day with a significant other, many women are celebrating Galentine's Day with each other. We caught up with students today about their own Galentine's Day plans.
I think it's a great alternative to Valentine's Day for those of us who are single and lonely.
Like, it just takes off so much pressure because not everybody really needs a Valentine's. You just need a couple of girls, you get together, you guys give each other gifts, and that's just as fine.
A bunch of girlfriends and I just shared some texts this morning wishing each other happy Valentine's and sending each other the cutest emojis and stuff like that.
Tell us Galentine's Day has gained a lot of traction this year in response to the recent women's movement and is taking some of the pressure off of people still looking for a Valentine.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Taylor Etchell.
And I'm Leslie Ambrose. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com.
We at the vigil for the Florida shooting victims at the United University Church on campus. Good night.
Grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand,